Alright guys, hope you're all well. So, this evening, I'm going to do a little bit of a workout. Yeah, it's quite sunny. So, yeah, might not go as hard tonight, but yeah, it went pretty hard last night, the workout. But yeah, put the short out earlier doing the tuck front lever. Hi Austin, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So doing the tuck front lever earlier, which is like it's like calisthenics exercise. And yeah, getting a lot better at that lately. It's just been, with all the consistency that I put into it all, really has been paying off. So it's goes to show that if you put the time in, then you can get where you want to be. Obviously, there's within reason, of course, some people are going to have an easier time than others, but as long as you go into it with realistic in your expectations, then yeah, just you can be way ahead of where you are right now. There's this whole like 1% better every day rule thing, where it's like, if you become 1% better every day, then in 1 year you've become 365% better than where you are right now. So imagine, where you could be in 1 year's time. That's just 1 year. That is nothing in the grand scheme of things. So you have to focus your energy on one thing, and then just see where it goes. You don't have to just focus on one thing, but maybe have 2 or 3 goals you can really focus on. I'd say any more than that, you can start to kind of spread yourself thin, where you're just kind of not really going to get anywhere with any of it. So it's important to have not too many focuses, I think, but having a few at the most. But yeah, just hi William, hope you're well. Brutal Edits 007, how are you doing? Welcome to the live. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. Hello Boxes by Louis, how are we doing? Hope you've had a good day. Hit that like button, everybody, that would be great. So yeah, we're going to go out and do a bit of a workout, so focus on getting better every day at something. You're a completely new person. I think there was something that Jocko Willink was saying, where like if you play a guitar, in 1 day you don't notice any difference, 2 days you don't notice any difference, but in 1 year, you're completely transformed. So don't just happen overnight. They are compounded over many months and years to see real change happening. But it's up to you to keep putting that work in. Even when you're not seeing results at first, you have to stick it out until you do. It's like the things you just won't get at first, but then over time, things just seem to fall into place. Zambia. Alright, is that where you're from? I'm in the UK myself. Hit that like button, everybody. Come on, there's 10 people here and 0 likes. So, yeah, what are you guys doing? Hi Daniel, good to see you again. Hello Leo, how you doing? So we're going to do a little bit of a workout, and I don't know if you saw my shorts earlier, but yeah, I did 2 shorts today. I also did a long form video, but someone already disliked my long form video because I was talking about feminism, so I don't know if it was because of what I was talking about, because I know that some people can get quite triggered at these type of things, because it is a bit controversial, I know, but sometimes it's like you have to say what you think about it, instead of just trying to you know, pander and whatever. It's like, it's not good doing that, you know, because these things need to be talked to, because I do feel like that, you know, how is it going, Sigma, you well, this whole thing, you know, with feminism and how it's basically been weaponized, and yeah, it's all about, you know, kind of getting these women working for the, you know, system, and that's what was, you know, the last video I did was about. But it seems like someone didn't like that and they disliked the video. They didn't say what it was that they disliked about it, they just disliked it. Like, maybe it was just a troll, I don't know, but yeah, like, maybe it's just that truth hurts to some people, I don't know. They don't like to hear it, I don't know. I don't know if it's one of these feminist women who, but the thing is the reality is that feminism hasn't actually empowered women the way that they think it has. It's actually done the opposite in a lot of ways, and turned them into slaves as well. You know, when it was like, you know, you had all these, you know, like the wage slavery, they decided, oh well, we'd do better if we had both men and women going to work, so then they could increase the consumption and production and all that. So if you've got women going to work to then consume more, then they can make more money, right? You know, because then they'd be making money, and so they have more people to sell to. So that's what it ultimately is about, making more money for the corporations. But people don't see that. Also another thing is that they could tax both men and women then, whereas at one time they could only tax one, you know, like, because back then, like, you know, you there's just the men would go to work, but then both would go to work, both of them getting taxed. So it all just seems like a big scam to me. But people don't want to talk about that, do they? They just want to, you know, whatever, you know, it's just, it is what it is. Now you might say, well, you know, the tax hasn't gone up because, you know, wages have gone down or something. I mean, you could argue that actually, but yeah, that could be the agenda, just like, just try and make them both have to go out to work kind of thing, because in order to actually, like, you know, for them to actually make a, you know, living wage, then they'd be kind of forced to actually go out to work, and instead of, you know, them being a stay-at-home mother, so for a lot of them it's just not even viable. You know, like they're just having to now, rather than it being a choice. Back then it was like they could if they wanted to, but a lot of them are like, well, you know, how is it, the men aren't going to be able to be earning enough to be able to, you know, to subsidize that, are they? You know, at one time the men were earning quite a lot, probably. You know, you look at like house prices back then, and so, like, yeah, they might not have earned a lot, but the earnings relative to the cost of things were a lot better. So that's what it was, that all about getting, because at one time, like, you know, it was more about, you know, a traditional family unit and all that, and that's pretty much been destroyed. Yeah, there's a few people that still would do the, you know, traditional families and stuff, but I see it as all a way to destroy that, and just for corporate greed. But yeah, anyway, what do you guys think? Because I could go on all day about this stuff. Like, you know, wages are, I saw somewhere about inflation going up again. I don't know, I don't really pay too much attention to that, but yeah, inflation's, I'd say it's like a stealth tax, because what happens is, you know, you've got, a lot of it comes from, you know, basically a thing called quantitative easing, where the government then, you know, like, would, like, print out more money, and then what happens is you then have it's like a debt, so it's kind of like a form of taxation. It's just like so like the value of goods go up, value of goods and services go up, not because they're actually worth more, but because we're printing more money out, which has devalued the money. So if you want the economy to do good, then why would you keep printing money out? Isn't that like the worst thing to do? When the economy's not great, you just keep printing more and more money out. Like, it doesn't make sense to me why you would just keep printing and printing. Like, that's just going to keep the costs going up. I don't know if it's because they're thinking short term or whatever, but I would say there's something nefarious about it, and the governments and all that, and because you keep printing money out, that leads to inflation, and the corporations are going to make more and more profit, because they're not exactly going to be like paying people more to counter that. Like, if the stuff's going to be more expensive, then people should be getting paid more to work at these shitty fucking companies. If anything, work output has probably gone up, like, in terms of productivity with technology and all that, but yet they're being paid less and less. This is why people don't want to work anymore. And then people are being called entitled and whatever names. But the reality is that people see the system for what it is. It's an absolute joke. And anyone that says otherwise are just kind of, they're just kind of, I don't know what the word I would use, just really, I guess out of touch with reality. Yeah, I would say they're out of touch. Like, they don't, I don't know, they're not in touch with the way things are anymore. They're just, they've got their pension or whatever, or they've managed to luckily do well in this economy, and in some cases they're actually benefiting from the poor people. Like, for example, you've got the corporate landlords, or just landlords in general, who benefit from spikes in house prices, but the people at the bottom who are struggling to get on the ladder, who are not exactly benefiting from it, are they? I hope everyone's well tonight. Let me just refresh this. What's going on? Hello, Vincent. How you doing? So I hear some people saying that, it's not the system that's the problem, it's the people running the system. But I'd actually disagree now, thinking about it, that the system is completely broken and there is no fixing it. We need something new. And it needs to be run by the people, for the people. It should be about people being able to decide how we want to run this society, rather than having some dictators do that. So but the people are, why don't these people want to work? Why don't these people want to, why would they want to, is the question. Because a lot of these jobs aren't even serving anything good. And you hear all these excuses or whatever, and not excuses, just these stupid rebuttals and just really out of touch. And it's like, things have changed. Things are not the same as what they were. So how are you doing, Vincent? Things have become, well, worse and worse in the West. Like I said, with the whole family unit thing, we've got economic problems that we've been having where people are, just struggling to get on the property ladder. And so, this whole thing of you'll own nothing and be happy. But some people decide, you know what, fuck it. They'll just go do van life or something. Is that going to be something that they'll start to restrict soon, eh? I don't know. Makes you think that they're going to try and do anything to control people. They'll try to come up with some excuse. So I remember was watching this video a while ago where this guy was showing this thing where they'd restricted this spot from people camping on it in their vans. So they basically put like a barrier up after a certain time, and you couldn't get under it with a van. So, and he was saying how, why don't they let people stay there overnight? It would have been good for the local economy. But I'm thinking to myself, I think there's something else going on, because, I think you could say it's a bigger agenda. Like, why would they want to block that from happening? Now, he was saying that it's because, like, of the rich people living there that wouldn't like to see, people just kind of being able to enjoy those views without having to slave for it and whatever. I don't know. But I think it goes deeper. I think that it's about just, basically trying to restrict these things more so that it's becoming more and more difficult for people to live alternative lifestyles. All right, running boy, no worries. I hope all is well. So I think they're trying to deliberately restrict these things, but I don't know for sure. But it makes you think that there's something else going on, something nefarious about it. I've heard they're also in somewhere like, it might be Lake District or somewhere like that, some national park, where they're actually like banning people from, staying there with their van overnight. So it's all very sounds very kind of Orwellian, dystopian kind of thing, or whatever, like this. People have been warning people about these sort of things for a while now. They've been saying, be aware of all these, kind of agendas they're trying to roll out, like the Agenda 2030, this whole you'll own nothing and be happy. This is all stuff they're trying to do, but like, we have to become more vigilant. We need to become more aware of the things going on they're trying to do, like, so that we can warn people and be like, we need to make sure that, we come together and make sure we don't let all of this shit happen, so that they don't start trying to force their will on people, because that's, tyranny. Look what happened in 2020. And that should have been, a wake-up call to everybody, that to not let your government do all that kind of stuff. So hopefully there's something good has come out of that maybe that people will be able to resist any future laws they're trying to push. We can just be like, say no to it, and just we come together, we petition whatever, and we make sure that none of it happens. So we've got to, like I said, be vigilant, don't let any of these basically just like politicians, the corporations, stop people from living the life that they want to live. So yeah, they want us all to be renting forever, and that's the problem with that. Then is that there's more control with that. There's, then it's like, oh, if you don't, you don't get your whatever social credit score, then you could get kicked out and things like that. So there's all sorts of things that could happen if we're not careful. I don't know if like people think, oh, it's far-fetched or whatever, that's ridiculous. But, there's things already going on in China, like, and there's been things going on, like, in, say, Canada, when it was, like, with the whole trucker thing, where they froze their bank accounts. So we're seeing all this tyranny been happening, and it only seems to get worse. So until people say enough's enough, then they'll just keep on turning the screw. And I don't want to be a doomer, I don't want to be like that, but we also can't just have toxic positivity and just pretend everything's okay, because clearly it isn't. And yeah, we can have all this gratitude all we want, but the reality is that still that there are things going on in these high-ups, that plans being made, and we aren't privy to all that. But we have to, when they start to trying to roll things out, we have to get on it and get it, stopped. So I hope everyone's well. Thank you for joining me tonight. Make sure you subscribe if you're new here. That would be really appreciated. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to be all doom and gloom and all that. It's just, I'm a realist. I see things how they are, rather than just what we're supposed to see it as. Because, like the media and the government, they try to pull the wool over your eyes, have you think something else. They're having us turn against each other. It's all part of the control, it's all part of the agenda. It might make me sound like a tinfoil hat where I don't care. I'm just going to say what I think. But yeah, it is a nice day, so yeah. But like I said, look out for Agenda 2030. You'll own nothing and be happy. That's the whole thing they're trying to push. They want everyone in these like pods, just kind of, you have had like BlackRock and all these companies buying up these houses, and it's like there might not even be a lot of like homes that you can actually buy going forward. They might be like very hard to come by. Hi Eric, good to see you. How you doing? Thank you for joining me. So we're just going to do a bit of a workout. So yeah, I've not seen your live for a while, but yeah, just hope you've all had a good day today. Share this out if you can. But I don't want to just like, sugarcoat things. Maybe that's why some people don't like me that much. I don't know, because I'll start talking about things that kind of people don't want to hear it. There's just facts that people don't want to hear, like I was saying with the whole feminism thing, and these are things that could trigger people, because a lot of people don't want to like believe that they've been sold a lie. They want to just kind of believe in the whole kind of empowerment and all that, but the reality is that the thing that they've been sold that's supposedly empowering them, is actually enslaving them. It's kind of paradoxical, you could say, that it's actually having the opposite effect. It's kind of like the Streisand effect, where I think it was something got leaked, some footage of Barbra Streisand or something, and she tried to suppress it, but in her act of trying to suppress it, made it actually get exposed even more. So it's like the opposite effect. It's kind of like the Streisand effect, where so that's the thing with like where they think they're so empowered, but actually they're they're in the hands of, was it falling into the hands of the corporate elites and all that, the agenda to have everyone just be slaves. So it's kind of ironic, isn't it, that these so-called empowered it's like the whole OF situation. That's an example of the whole thing, where the whole sexual liberation thing, but most of them probably end up regretting it. It's completely like degrading themselves, or sexualizing themselves in public like that. Isn't that supposed to be like private, and you just publicizing yourself like that for some random person to see who doesn't care about you? They just want to have a bit of, it's just sick. It's but to them that's empowering. It's like, about sexualizing them. It's like, don't sexualize me, but then they'll sexualize themselves behind the paywall. As long as it's behind the paywall, then that's fine. But that's anyway. Gonna. All right. So just. What was saying? Sorry. Yeah. It's gonna start to work out. All right. I'm just live streaming. Is just on a live stream?
All right, mate.
Yeah. All right. All right, Jose. Thank you. All right. Alright, have you ever done log rolls? You lay in the ground and roll back and forth. They're one of the best midsection exercises and help your legs and arms when extended. It's one of the best ones I've ever unlocked. Alright, I don't know. Don't think I've done that. I'd have to look into that. Did you see my short earlier? I just like unlocked a new exercise. I might just show it now, just to show you what it looks like. But yeah. Alright. Hang on. Oh. Oh my goodness. We did a full immersion. Try out, man. Yeah, it's gonna be dope. Oh, cool. Yeah, we're doing about this one. Thank you, Jose. I was actually kind of scared when I kind of landed that thing. But yeah. Thank you, Vincent. Oh. Yeah. All right. Yeah, look, try all too quickly. So, oh, you take care. Hi, Lubna. How are you? Alright, Titch, how are you doing? Drink. No, I'm just on my own. It's just some guy working out here as well, so wasn't the plan, but yeah, we've got company here. Right, I think I'm going to go on to some biceps next. Like you probably didn't see that earlier to the full inversion, but then the second time I tried it, I bailed it, which luckily I didn't hurt myself. But yeah, so I might not really be ready to do it fully. You have to really have that control through that full range of motion. If I had something like soft to land on, then that would be okay, but I wouldn't really trust this floor to land on, really. Like if my head hits it, I could end up with some injuries. So yeah. Anyway, let's carry on with this session. Right, we're gonna do some bodyweight bicep curls. So, try and get the right angle for it.
Have a good one, mate.
Take care. Alright, let's do some neutral grip curls. Alright, looks like there's nobody there. But you can't really see it. Let's just turn the camera. Huh. Alright. Ah. Is everybody okay? Hope everyone's well. So, yeah, you just got a good workout here, eh? What's everybody been up to? Share this out if you can. Fuck's sake. I was trying to do the tuck lever raises, but I'm not quite there yet. Yeah, trying to get I can't get the full range of motion with it, but we're getting there though. Yeah, we are getting there. Okay. I don't know. Maybe I'll just restart. Yeah, I'm gonna restart, guys.